Let's see how to use Lightroom's parametric tone curve. I'm over here in the Develop module. I have the basic pane open. This is where I usually start. I'm going to hit Auto. That's usually a good start for most images. I'm going to tweak this a little bit, but I'm only going to get it in the ballpark because I want to show you how you can get much more specific control down here in the tone curve pane in Lightroom. And I'm in the parametric tone curve. This is the one that allows me to work just with the 4 points, the highlights, the lights, the darks, and the shadows. And there's a couple ways I can work with this tone curve. I can work straight from the sliders. And in this case, when I move the highlight slider to the right, you can see the curve adjusting accordingly. And in my image, the highlights are now brightening up. And in the histogram, you also see a movement to the right. I can only go so far with the parametric editing tool here before it'll basically stop me from going any farther because it doesn't want me to go into the area of highlight clipping where I lose the detail. So it's stopping just shy of the point where I'm going to lose some detail in the highlight. And I can also adjust the lighter areas. You can see the curve changing, and actually I don't think that's helping that image. I'm going to pull that back down a lot. And I can move the dark slider. I can brighten it, or in this case I think it'll benefit from dragging to the left, and the shadows. So this is one way to do this using the sliders. I can also, I'm going to hold down the Option key and reset everything, go back to its original setting. I can also use the Target Adjust tool. I clicked on that little icon there, and I can come right over to the image itself, click on an area that I want to work on, and in this case I'll drag up, which is now lifting that curve. You can see in the highlights the sliders moving to the right. Now I'm going to pick another region up here, click and drag down, darkening that area and keeping the highlights the same. And I can work around the image in the various tonal regions and fine-tune that exposure till I get it just right. And again, this is really the area where you do your fine-tuning after you've done your general settings or general exposure settings in the basic pane. I'm going to deselect the Target Adjustment tool by hitting the Escape key. Now, there's even more control that's found with these split points here. When I hold my cursor over these points here, you can see if I drag the triangles horizontally left or right, I can control the width of a given tonal range. And if I want to reset these split point sliders, I just right-click on the graph and I can reset them. So this is just a way of getting much more control over your tonal values, and at the same time, it's a little bit like working with training wheels because you're held within certain parameters. You can't go too far to cause the loss of detail in either the shadow or the highlights. And for that, this makes this a very nice tool. I'll get into using the point curve in another video.